Although, hello,
Hello.
it's like deja vu all over again. So, yeah. So, welcome to the reason we're not doing Under the Dome next. The end of the stand.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I'm eating a sugar-free slushy, and it's quite wonderful. I figured the whole thing out. It's all about the allulose, which I never heard of, but I Amazon really because it has granules like regular sugar, so you can use it instead.
I guess that's how they do it,
Yeah. Anyway, that's got nothing to do with anything other than it was awesome.
yeah.
Coke slushy,
Oh, are we
unlimited.
gonna? I guess it doesn't really matter anymore. Nothing.
Oh
So,
damn it.
so yeah, the end of the stand. I guess I'll
Um,
say
I was looking at who is it? Larry or Stu's mileage calculator thing here.
Larry was. You know, I think you were saying that this is like, when Stephen King was in the throes of his coke addiction, and you can just certainly tell sometimes. But I'm like, dude, nobody cares. We don't need this. Stop typing.
I know. And
Two.
I was thinking about that. As much and as long as this book is, there's parts that are like just I could use some more of, and maybe less of some shit that's in there, like the mileage calculator. Like we don't
Like,
really know Flag in Vegas. We didn't get. I feel like I didn't get a whole lot of because there's somebody said something about his inner circle. I was rereading some stuff today, and I was like, what is his inner circle? Like Lloyd, and that's about it, right?
trash can, I guess. But
I mean,
One of maybe a couple
I
other people.
yeah, like I can't think of anyone, honestly. The only people that we've seen in like Flag's apartment like kill themselves or get killed, thrown out windows.
yeah, I
And I guess you know, Stephen King doesn't even really know what Flag is, so he's not going to delve into too much detail because he has no clue himself. He's like, I just write the fucking thing.
yeah,
Um,
for sure he should have kept Flag as just his own villain. He could have been like Pennywise. He's just great and whimsical and comes from nowhere and goes back to nowhere, which is actually even more terrifying.
and that's what he does in this book. He
hmm
goes to fucking Africa, which before the tower, I'm assuming is still Earth Prime, I guess we would say. No, that's not the right word. Is that the right word? Earth Prime?
East owner?
Keystone, that's one.
Yeah.
So there was only one Earth at that point. He just went as far away from, I guess, America as he could think of. Sent him to Madagascar to like start over. But
Like, Walter is a great villain too. Doesn't have a great ending, but is a great villain too. But they're just like Flag is the younger, whimsical, like I'm gonna fuck around and don't care kind of attitude. Whereas Walter is also very, he's almost like a wizard, but it's a lot more like stoic and I don't know, less. I don't know how to explain it.
the ageless stranger is Walter.
I think,
He's-
like, outside of the Gunslinger book, yes, Walter is more so, like, stoic and what
That's
you were
true.
saying. But in Gunslinger, I felt like he was very kind of, like, whimsical, jokey, almost Joker-ish because of how he acted in Tull.
I do agree, but it was almost just more calculated. Like he knew everything that was gonna happen.
Where
Tull was, he
Flag,
destroyed the whole town just to fuck with him.
yeah.
But that's what I do agree. He was definitely fucking with him. But I don't even know if that's him doing that or if someone's telling him to do that.
Mm.
I guess same for Flag too, but I don't think Flag really
Well,
knows at all.
I think in Gunslinger, Walter was the bad guy, and then he became a servant of another bad guy as we moved on. So his like, character arc kind of changed. And that is not fucking Randall Flag, and there's just no two ways about it. Like I was saying earlier, what would have been cool is have the two of them side by side, like in a fight with the
Yeah,
fucking gunslingers or something. Come on,
that would have
where's
been
that?
awesome.
Yeah.
And they could be like using their wizardry shit and like bringing down the
Well,
house and
it just shows you how different they are because I can picture them side by side, like as two completely different
right.
like characteristics and personalities. Like,
One wearing black and one in a jean jacket and dusty boots.
yeah, I love. There was a part at the end of the section where they were like, Randall Flagg, aka the Walking Man, aka the Ageless Stranger, aka, and I'm like, you got like 12 more pages? Because there's a lot of those.
Yeah, that's the whole thing. I don't know if you even want to go down that road. I remember that part. Like, but where's Robin? Because there's a whole section. But even like the mileage calculator. Okay, he's saying about 30 miles a day. And I'm going, that's a fucking lot
Yeah,
for
I was
like
thinking about that too.
perfect
Yep.
conditions, flat roads, no rocky mountains in the way. Like,
I
Jesus, I
mean,
think this must have been also when, he was Mr. Walkie Talkie all the time. So yeah, I was like, well, I do 5 miles a day without trying. So 30, that wouldn't be anything, making me
uh,
tired. Look at that. 32.6, 37.5. I'm like, no, 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 no. You're going to be leaving me behind, I think.
I did think it was interesting. At first, I was like, wow, their mileage is going up. I'm like, yeah, I guess that would make sense because you would get more stamina and probably be able to cover better ground. But, or maybe
The
not.
gun,
Well, and
one's
like
complaining about the awesome shape he's in.
yeah, like they said though, they're also going downhill, and downhill takes less effort than uphill. So even though
Can
them
they get a
get
car? Like,
better,
Stu gets a car. Why can't they get a car? Is that against the rule?
apparently.
Yeah. It is
So once you
actually.
drop out the group, then you don't have to follow the rules anymore, right? So they should all just break up and then get back together, like cricket, like like Final Destination, where you technically died, but you're still here.
Well, speaking of, so I don't remember what part it was, but there was a point where Mother Abigail said something like, or yeah, when she was telling them what the plan was. She was like, four of you will go, one of you will not make it to your destination. And obviously, I guess now that one is Stu because he didn't go and ended up surviving. But like, why?
Yeah,
What was the point of that? Why would he even have to go to survive and come back?
seems kind of douchey, right? Yeah, and I like how she carefully worded that because, uh-oh, someone's gonna die. I was like, well, actually, no, what that meant was three of you are gonna die.
Yeah,
The
It's
one who
pretty
doesn't
clever.
make it is the lucky one.
yeah. Well, and I mean, because from Boulder you probably couldn't see a mushroom cloud rising over Vegas, so it's probably to witness.
Who saw it though?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, because he saw it from where he was, right?
Right. So
And
he,
they were like asking him, like, hey, in my heart of hearts, I know they're dead. Like, yeah, that was probably the big mushroom cloud that gave it away.
Yeah, right. That big explosion.
The
Also, I feel
fucking
like Tom helped him. I was gonna say it's also so he could help Tom, but that's not all that happened. Tom saved his life.
for sure, yeah.
right. So he clearly wasn't there to help Tom get back, just to make Tom's
Mm,
life harder.
no.
And I
Yeah.
think Tom would have made it
Well,
back
no,
before the
no,
winter
no.
without Stu, right?
Please, I don't think so. I think Tom. Oh, sorry. I don't. Maybe that, but to your other statement, I don't think Tom minded at all.
No, I think he
Well,
was
Tom
happy.
doesn't mind anything.
Or
What, Allie?
I think Tom was even like happy for the company.
That's what I mean. Yeah, I think he liked it.
I was so happy when Tom showed up. I forgot all about him. Look, oh, son, yes,
I
he got the
Yeah.
fuck out.
I definitely loved when Tom was there, but also Kojak, best dog ever.
Yeah, our
Yeah,
hero.
I just was like before we podcasted. Was it the last section ended with Flag talking about putting all their heads on the spike, and you were like, and Kojak too, put his head on the spike. Good doggy, and like he smiles. I'm like, oh, you motherfucker.
Ugh,
Now it's
yeah.
personal.
It's like harm people, I don't care. Harm a dog, I will end you.
Especially that dog who's already been through so much.
I know.
It couldn't have been that hard to find them though, right? There wasn't anybody else to like smell.
Well,
Still had to walk
uh,
across the country, but they all did that. Like
it was
that's, I
also
feel
the
like
fight against the wolves was what I was thinking of.
there may have been some divine
Or
intervention going on
coyotes? I don't
there.
remember. I think
No,
it
it was
was wolves,
wolves
right?
Wolves.
Okay,
Yeah.
yeah.
because it was like Flag's wolves or Flag and the wolves or whatever. And they, well, not Stu. They find Harold's remains. The sad tale of Harold
Hmm.
Lauder has come to an end. We didn't actually know that technically, right? I mean, we assumed because there was a gunshot, but I could see Harold chickening out at the end.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah. Which I don't remember if it said he killed himself or not, but I mean, obviously he was gonna die. He was on the side of the road and injured. Like,
Nadine left him the gun and then
Didn't we
walked
like hear a
away.
gunshot and fade to
And
black or something like that?
yeah, and you hear a gunshot. So it's
uh,
implied. She was like, do
Maybe he
yourself a
was shooting at a
favor
deer,
and don't let him kill you or something like that. I don't
the
remember what it was.
like
well,
the kid.
I mean, he kind of already did.
Oh, the kid. Or the Wolfman, as they call him.
Ugh.
I'm on that page. The Wolfman had a gun. Well, not that page, but when Larry's in front of Harold, he's thinking about the Wolfman,
Hmm.
or it reminds him of the Wolfman. He dropped. The
I would
Wolfman
argue
had
that scene
had
is
a gun. That's a weird way to say that.
he had a gun.
Yeah,
Oh yeah,
Why wouldn't you just say had?
the Wolfman had a gun. Yeah,
Yeah.
you would, right? I mean, it's not like Steve to drop some extra heads in there. He had dropped several of them before retreating to the Austin. I guess the Austin's the car, right? I don't remember Austin.
Yeah, but that's not exactly how that happened, was it? Did he shoot them before he got in there? I don't remember. I mean, obviously they're recreating it from what they
Maybe.
see,
I don't know. Do you believe that, Happy Crappy?
but
I don't, was it, don't tell me, I'll tell you. I can't remember. I want to say maybe.
maybe, yeah, I guess that's a good point. I don't really
Because they were
remember
coming after
exactly.
him and then they weren't coming after Trash. And they were like, you know, nudging Trash the other way. Like, you get out of here. Come on, we got this.
Not actually. They led him away afterwards. Some of the other ones did.
yeah.
So I think the kid did drop a couple. And then he realized 100 rolls and threw like 3 bullets isn't quite gonna hold up.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I'm buying this whole like he killed the wolf while the wolf killed him thing though. I'm like, yeah, right. He's not a wolf.
Yeah, I like how they died the instant they were like attacking each other. That's a
That's
little
what I
low.
mean. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, come on. Like, I don't know. I did, like, if anything else, when you were dead, your hands would fall down, right? You wouldn't still be fucking choking the wolf or the wolf's, like, what was it?
Or
Jaws
you
on your throat.
like your bodies would fall. You know what I mean? Like it's not like you would fall in perfect position.
Yeah. I was just watching Killer Kids and Blood Spatter. I know how that works. Um, why would a bunch of wolves hang around so long, Stu? I don't find that odd when there's not many food sources.
I do. Well, an actual like wild animal is not gonna wait that long for a meal.
Yeah. Only if they're possessed.
Right, right.
I'm pack animals. I have 2 of them. And they are not happy when the pack is not all together.
And they still fight when the pack is together.
Oh, they love it. You should see the living room. It's all fucking open now. I got rid of a horrible ass futon that made my butt hurt. So it's like their fight area.
Cute.
Um, but I tried to do a test drive. I went to the gym for 45 minutes and came back. I had like 5 teams stew. I left right out. Okay, well, you failed that one. Back in the cage with you. Sorry. I hate doing it, but man, he's wild. I think he was like a wild animal that would pull in off the street.
Oh.
He's still realizing that you got it pretty good here. Relax yourself.
Yeah.
Anyway, um, Fred would have took care of the kid, that's for sure.
Oh,
Fred would have took
oh,
care of the kid. So yeah, Stu's whole all of the trips are stupid. Like why? I mean, this is like one of the greatest books in the history of ever, except for the last like 100 pages.
well, it's
Can you
also
just
like
yeah?
my problem is like it's just too overtly religious. I'm like, it doesn't fit with Stephen King's themes. And then I was like, oh, so God is here to help us save the day? Like, what? Since when?
Maybe that's why I hate the end. I mean, he admits it's overtly religious, and he's surprised people like it because he calls it his like I don't know religion book or something like that. And there's while you're like every time I start it, I forget how religiously it gets at the end because I mean the
Yeah.
rest is just so great. God damn it,
I thought
it's worth it.
I didn't remember that it was like the hand of God. I thought it was just like a big ball of white light,
Yeah.
which is close, but not exactly.
You're doing the same thing I am and remembering the TV show. It's like a big electricity, like eye of a storm ball of white zapping people in the hotel and shit.
Well, I was gonna say if he's really gonna like try and retrofit Flag as Walter, then why not just make it the White instead of God?
Yeah.
I mean,
Well, Walter.
either one
Oh,
is vague
yeah,
as
that's
hell.
true.
Go ahead, sorry.
No, 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 no. I wasn't gonna say anything.
Like, which one would be? Do we? I don't even know how to answer that. Do we even know what the white is in the tower? Like, it's as vague
I mean,
as being the hand of God, right?
It's a good side.
yeah, the force of good.
Right. I mean, is that any better than saying God? I feel like it's cheating,
It's less religious. If
right?
the
It's the
White,
hand of God for agnostics.
yeah, White is more like the White being a force of good is more ambiguous than saying actual God.
How come the black can't be like the good force? They always get the bad rap. Maybe we should flip it up and like the black comes and saves the day and the white's like, oh, yeah, I was just fucking with you. Anyway, what I'm trying to get to is like every time I get started on the last back half of this, it just annoys the shit out of me every time I start to talk about something because there's like 12 things in the same sentence that annoy me. Their trip is stupid and useless. I was starting with Stu's trip is really dumb because he just goes and breaks his leg and comes back the really hard way. And then it's like, well, matter of fact, all their trips are really dumb because there was no point because all they did was show up and Glenn got kind of torture murdered and then they just spent the night in jail and got blowed up because Trash Can Man just caused Trash Can Man, I guess is how to answer that.
And
Well,
this might be a hot take, I guess, since you're saying that their trip was pointless, but had their end actually come in the way Flag intended to, being drawn and quartered, that would have been horrendous. So I'm quite glad that it ended the way that it did, at least.
Yeah, who was it when that like I think it was Ralph when it turned white when he like you see what they mean to do to us or something like that. They were
Yeah,
like, ooh,
like
and they
motor
had cars at least.
quartered. Dear God.
Horses could get like ornery and decide not to run, and you'd only lose 3 limbs. That like when I have nightmares about the worst ways to die, that's probably in the top 3. I couldn't imagine.
Yeah, like I think it's been said that the only death that's like worse than that is like the Blood Eagle.
What?
The Viking. I don't know if it's a torture death or what, but they would take your lungs out while you were still living.
How? How the fuck do you do that?
You would essentially drown in your own blood.
Because you had no lungs?
No, they like spread your ribs and they just put your lungs on posts beside you, so you're still living, you're still breathing because you still have your lungs. They're just outside of your body.
Well, I'm glad that didn't catch on. Saw 11 of Vikings, you know.
I think there already is. Isn't no? Is there only 10? I don't remember.
Yeah, we just watched 10, right? With the 2 tubes crossing each other that were hooked to his eyes or something. I forget. I rewatched that and I still forgot what it was about. Can't seem to keep that one in my head. I remember liking it, but I think I was half asleep when we watched it. And so I actually watched it this time and I was like, oh, okay.
I
That's not
told you,
bad.
I liked it.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially for an 11 or a 10th installment.
Yeah, but now I forgot why I liked it again. I have to watch it again.
Well, the thing is, the reason why I liked it is because it's just reminiscent of the reason why I like the first movie, and it's not all of the stupid gimmicky stuff that they do in between.
Yeah. Yeah, it was more old school script, like classic Stephen King.
Mm-hmm.
And they keep doing this
One,
work.
go ahead. I'm going to go back to the stand, so go ahead.
So we're in the West
Oh,
now. We're out of all bar parking in the hills. Well, you've been in the West. You were in Denver. You like, I don't know this weird distinction about
The
the
West and
West.
also the West.
Wester.
More Western.
Yeah, Westery. She just
I
went to
will.
California. Shit.
I will say if because it's such a religious book, I think it makes sense that they had to send the people over there and sacrifice them.
Yeah, you had to do like a pilgrimage or whatever the fuck they call it.
Mhm.
Yes.
Can't have a martyr without people dying. So
It
they should
really
all be
is.
saints now, right?
I mean, yeah, like it's horrible that Mother Abigail was like, "You four, well, three, because one made it back." It was like, "You three, go over there and die, and don't bring
She
anything
knew,
with
right?
you."
Yeah, yeah, don't take anything that could possibly help you live. Although they didn't seem to run out of food for a long time. They were doing, remember when I first met them on the road, I was like, oh, okay, they're not doing too bad, all things considered.
Yeah.
Well, they said that they were going to be able to stop in towns. It was just once there were no towns nearby, they'd be worried.
I'd make sure there were towns on the way, that's for sure. 771 fucking miles. Hey, that's farther than it is to get to Maine. I think that's 568 door to door. So that's a fucking long way to walk.
Yeah, that sucks.
Yeah.
I don't know,
Cause
man.
you,
If I know that I'm gonna go die, I might just want to get it over with.
True.
I think I might take my fucking time and I'll get there when I get there. Nobody says I had to go straight there, right? You
Yeah,
said start walking, so the rest is up to me.
I just can't imagine any of those days are gonna be fun.
Well, right, you don't, I mean, you stop, you get a car, maybe you go up to Canada, like live in a hotel for a while, go go to a drive-in. Maybe did the Canadians live? Canadians?
Mhm.
I
I
mean,
have
I don't
no
know how
idea.
far the cold kill Captain trips. So it either went up or down. I guess we don't know which way. Oh, someone was talking about going to Mexico, I think.
well,
Oh, right. What's his name's crew? The deserters.
Whitney.
yeah. The cold wouldn't have killed Captain Trips because Fran's baby got it. That was in
How
January.
do we know Jess is dead? We don't know that, right? Or do we know he's dead because he didn't show up in Colorado or Las Vegas? Like, is that the whole world that does it?
The whole
Was,
U.S.
was there people that had the dream and were like, no, I think I'm good. I'll just stay here. That all sounds very involved-y, and I don't really want to get. I'm, sitting on the coast in Maine, watching the waves break every morning. I'm good. We all go out there and blow each other up and let me know how it goes.
You go out
Because
there
they're
and what?
saying because Jess wasn't immune, but I mean, we don't technically know that. He's out of our story before Captain Trips really hits.
I
So for
know.
all we know, he's alive somewhere.
I don't think so. Well, whatever. Yeah, I don't know. I
I
don't
mean, we
remember.
don't see him dead, but we kind of have to assume with a mortality rate of 99%.
Yeah, it's like her and Harold are the only ones from town.
He wasn't in town, though. Like, he wasn't from
That's true.
Umpqua, was he?
Yeah, that's why they like were meeting in hotels or
No.
something, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, I don't know. This whole virus baby thing is a little.
I didn't really understand what he was saying there, but Stephen King does that a lot where I'm like, okay, whatever, I don't care. You can, whatever.
He was trying to explain how the human race is going to survive and whether all the babies were going to die. But you're right. Like, okay, great. I mean, I'm just gonna. If you had left that entire part out, I would have just assumed that the human race would have survived anyway.
Yeah, exactly. I would just, yeah, I don't know.
I didn't need the detail of why this baby's gonna die, but this baby is gonna live, and there's gonna be a little bit of both in between, and no, we'll build up immunity and it'll work itself out in the end. That's kind of all you had to do there.
Well, and especially, like, because, soon there are not going to be any pre Captain Trips babies. So even if the ones that were conceived before, essentially the plague hit, what does it matter when enough people are around to have both parents have immunities? Like, the world would have survived either way.
That's also true.
Like, kill Franny's kid. Honestly, I don't care. That's
we
harsh to
we can
say,
make
but
more.
yeah.
How
Like,
the
there will
fuck is
be
it
more.
born with the flu but didn't have the flu in the womb?
Well, we were talking about that last time, remember, or one of the times.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
still calling bullshit on. Yeah, oh, I don't know
Okay.
what is this other time you refer?
No,
Last
not
time.
the last actual aired episode.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think it was, and I don't think we had a resolution. Still say bullshit. Either it had it or it didn't. But he did word it somehow. Damn wordsmith, where we were like, oh, okay, I guess that makes sense. Yeah, again, I just don't care enough. The babies are gonna live. Everyone you hate's gonna live. Everyone you like's gonna die. So Fran's gonna live. Uh,
I don't.
Stu, I don't hate, but I don't love him either. I would have switched. I would have switched Tim for Larry in a second. I'd have taken that.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
And Larry's got twins. God damn it, that wasn't fair. Why did he throw that in there? Couldn't she just have not have been pregnant?
It really seems like like Stephen King was priming Larry up to be the one who survived because he had this whole redemption arc, as opposed to like Stu, who's just been the same the whole time.
Yeah,
I guess,
Stu always kind of was a nerdy goody goody.
well, that might be part of it, though. Like, yeah, Larry has the whole redemption arc to the point where he willingly goes to essentially be a sacrifice, where he
Oh, that
wouldn't
is
have
true.
done that before.
And a nice guy or a not nice guy wouldn't do that.
For sure. Like, hell no, I want to live.
Larry's like the only one that, like, when, Stu breaks his leg and they leave him like a dead horse, shoot him like a dead horse. He's the only one that's like, fuck no, we're not doing that. Like, at that point, why didn't they all just turn back and say, okay, that didn't work. Let's try something else.
Or
Like, we did your
I
crazy
the day.
walk out in the middle of nowhere plan and he broke his leg. Are you fucking happy?
I really think there's like the religious factor there. Like they all have this shared faith that they have to fulfill this destiny or whatever, or this request. And
Yeah, maybe that's just why I hate the end. Maybe it is the religious stuff. None of it makes any goddamn sense. Just like it doesn't make any sense. I hate it. Because
um,
when the shit doesn't work, I mean, that's what I'd have probably done. I wouldn't have went in the first place. I'm not sure I would have even been in Boulder or Vegas. I might have just made it to like
you
Indiana and
wouldn't
be
have been
like,
in the story.
well, that is also true because Michelle would have been in the story, but not me. I would have been dead. She would have survived. Because I get every infection under the sun, and she's always like, ah, dee,
Uh,
dee, dee, da. So, like, I had freaking COVID last week, and she still has yet to be sick of even a little bit.
Yeah,
that's good.
I'm pretty
It
sure.
made me mad. I'm like, what the hell? You need to get this too.
What, Allie?
I'm pretty sure I had COVID last week too. At the end of the week.
Y- Yeah, it went around
It's
again.
making like everyone. I'm at least once a day. I'm hearing somebody at work's got it. Like it's making the rounds again. I guess that means I don't need the shot, right?
At least for a while.
I think so. At least for this round, for the winter. Well, anyway, Larry's the only one that fights back when they're like, let's just leave him there. Fuck it. He broke his leg. It's not like we
It's
can stop.
it's just it's a little convenient because like especially you have Glenn who's this like you know definitely not religious person who then all of a sudden is like, well, I'm a man of faith, we got to do what she says. And it's like, all right, sure. You
Yeah,
guys
he
are all
becomes a
crazy
believer
now.
quite easily, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Kojak was like, "Fuck you, Glenn. I'm gonna go help Stu. I
That's not.
know what's gonna happen. I know what's gonna happen. We should have known Stu was the only one gonna live when Kojak went with him. Like, oh wait a minute, the dog knows what's going on.
That's also true.
He could probably smell the fucking radiation. Because I'm pretty sure. I'm also kind of sure the people in Boulder are gonna be dead of radiation. It's just gonna take a couple more years. They just let off a nuke, and who knows what radiation Trash let out while he was monkeying around down there? Because apparently it was a good bit. Because he went
I
all melty face when he showed up.
her our hero.
Illustrated.
Trash.
Yeah.
Yeah, isn't there a picture in the actual book that's pretty awesome?
Yeah.
Is that what you mean? That illustration? Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. He was what he was. Like he never pretended to be anything else. One of the many things about Flag that you're like, dude, like, is it just nobody else to pick from? What are you doing here? Like Lloyd could be questionable, I guess, but he's a pretty loyal dog. But like, just telling Trash Can Man, what do you say? I will set you to burn. Like, oh, okay. You sure you want to do that?
Well,
Uh,
he does. And then Flag's just like, get him away, tell him to leave. He's like, bro, what?
Yeah.
yeah, Flag turns into like a whimpering little baby, and then he like disappears, just like his clothes left. It was kind of that's when Lloyd was like, ah, fuck. Like, damn it. I mean, Lloyd's got no choice though. He got him out of that prison cell, and that would have been a
Yeah.
not happy ending.
This one is.
It's, I mean, it's cleaner, quicker.
Yeah.
I would say yes, better than starving to death and eating the rotting flesh of your dead neighbor.
Ugh.
Well, it's better, but it's not happy.
Well, nobody said it happy.
You did.
At least it's, instant. By the time you're like, oh crap, you're gone. So
I'm
you're like, I think that's a, bomb. When you finish the word.
not convinced that Stu would have been far enough away, but I'm just gonna let that go.
Yeah.
Where was Stu? Where did we leave him?
Oh, yeah, but it wasn't that far, I don't think.
I feel like if you can see it, you're in trouble.
That's what I mean,
That was my
yeah.
rule. All them
Like,
guys with their binoculars watching the Trinity atom bomb test, like they all got fucking eye cancer, I'm sure.
well,
Marie Curie.
they used to have what were they called, like radiation girls, or they were the women who
Oh
were
yeah.
making the clocks for war or stuff like that. They were using like radium, I think, right? And
Yeah. What was
Yeah.
that? Was that unexplained or
would
something?
turn them, yeah, it would turn their insides green, and they thought it was like so cool, and so they would all like seek it out, and then did not take very long to learn what I was actually doing to them.
Yeah.
Covered in tumors. What were you thinking? Like Family Guy.
I don't
He's
remember.
trying to get they all get like toxic waste spilled on them and they get superpowers. And so Adam West goes and rolls around in toxic waste and the doctor's like, you're gonna die in 3 days. You're covered in tumors.
Oh
Like,
yeah.
what the hell were you thinking? Yeah, it seems like the lifespan of our survivors is not going to be long. Or maybe the babies will be born like immune to radiation.
Why?
That would be
Why
like
would
a
they be born
superpower.
that way?
Because there's radiation everywhere, so they would have they would have lived with it so much that they would just be immune.
I think that's how that works.
Yeah, I don't think so.
No, yeah. And that's who is the one Glenn talking about? Uh, so Trash has one nuclear bomb, like the arsenal of unmanned weaponry that's laying around in places. And I
hmm
think Iron Mountain is the what I was thinking, the name of the base or the mountain that has like the secret base in it in Colorado. I think it's called Iron Mountain. But like, so Trash has one nuke. What about the 8,000 bombs that are laying around? And like, what would it take for them to, accidentally go boom, and blow up half the fucking world?
Yeah. Well, good question.
That was much more terrifying to me. There's a guy that has astrophobia on YouTube, and he's talking about how fucking terrifying space is. It's pretty funny. He's like, "Oh my God, have you seen this?
Huh?
That is so terrifying." When I wake up at night and I think of that, he's talking about the Earth, this big blue thing in the middle of this black nothing, and he's like, "That black nothing is so terrifying."
What's crazy to me is I'm like, yeah, it's creepy, but it doesn't scare me like the deep ocean scare.
Yeah. They're both terrifying.
Space is not something that you would potentially interact with, though, necessarily. Maybe
That's true.
That's
I'm
rare
probably why,
exceptions.
yeah.
We will all have been or will be in the ocean for the most part, so it's more real there, I think. Space is terrifying, but if something happens, then it won't matter because we won't be there to experience how terrifying it is.
Um, oh yeah.
If our
Technically,
little,
never mind.
good,
No, you go ahead.
I said if something happens to our little blue globe, we won't have to worry about what happens there. So I don't worry about comets and asteroids because it's like, oh, what I worry about with asteroids is living after that because, ice ages and all that fun stuff. That would suck. It would be like living in a, zombie apocalypse.
Post-apocalyptic.
Yeah, I don't want to work that hard. I just want to hang it. All that apocalypse stuff is exhausting.
Why is it called the stand? Is it like the two sides standing against each other, or the
She
last
says it because they're
part of
making their
humanity?
stand, whatever. Like, I don't know what stand they're making necessarily.
Who said it? And there, Abigail.
Yeah, a couple times. It's time to make your stand.
But what does that mean? Like
I
win?
guess stand up against evil.
Uh,
Flag. I never really understood the name myself. I thought it was kind of odd. Like, okay, you're
it is
making a stand. Shouldn't it be called like Captain Trips or something, or something way cooler than the stand? Like, what the fuck?
Captain
That
Trips
kind
would
of
have been
doesn't really
better.
tell you anything.
Yeah, I never thought about it the first time I read it, but I just was thinking about it this time. I'm like, I guess, like, is it take a stand against evil when the end of the world happened?
Uh, yeah, I guess. Yeah, like I said, it's kind of ambiguous. I don't think
You
there's many where do you get the ideas. I don't think anyone's ever asked them, like, where the fuck did that come? Like, was Tabby in on this? I feel like she might have been.
know.
She named, End of Watch. It's the only one I know for a fact because it talks about
The other thing is the first time I read this, I remember the end. Like, obviously, I knew it was going to happen. So I remember it happening quickly, but I just don't remember it happening so quickly. Where I was like, oh, and all of a sudden there's the hand of God. And, like, and then of course we have the what somewhat unnecessary parts after that. But
Necessary.
The Long Road Home, starring Stu Redman and Tom Cullen and Snow.
yeah.
Uh, yeah, and that's what I was saying before. The end happened so quick, but it takes forever to actually be over. Like,
Yeah.
and I don't know, like, that is definitely a Stephen King thing where it's like, man, and then all of a sudden, bam, oh fuck, it's over.
Yeah.
But should it be drug out more? I mean, it's kind of the way it happens. I mean, when there's a fucking atomic bomb, it's just kind of over in an instant, right?
Well, right, but like you don't know that there's going to be an atomic bomb. It's leading up to this big battle, and then all of a sudden everybody's just dead.
I don't even know that it makes the entire book makes you think it's leading up to a big battle, but based on the fact that they only ever would have had maybe 7 people over there to fight this big battle,
That's
I
true.
I don't know,
Wait, oh,
because
yeah,
the spies and then the 4 of them that go over,
two of the spies are dead.
yeah, which
Yeah,
I also don't really understand the point of. Well, I guess I know the point now, but it makes even less sense to send them over. Because if you know they're not coming back, then what's the point?
Yeah, I agree. They
I
were completely sacrificed.
I'm pretty sure she knew they weren't coming back,
Yeah.
without a doubt.
Like,
But she didn't care.
honestly, Tom, I kind of understand because ultimately his point in going was all about coming back and him helping Stu back.
Yeah.
But, and like, Dana, okay, like, she kind of fucks with Flag and is able to, quote unquote, get one over on him and make him lose his faith in himself. But what was the point of the judge?
Or you could even say maybe Dana was there for Lloyd to kind of see that Flag's got cracks in his armor.
Yeah.
But then they all just die in a nuclear bomb anyway, so none of that fucking matters.
Yeah.
They're all a
No.
waste. The judge is a waste. Dana's a waste. Glenn's a waste. Larry and fucking Ralph, who I never really feel like is a main character. He was kind of like forced in. Where does Ralph guy come from?
I like Ralph.
Ralph is Ralph Brentner, right?
Yeah.
Hmm.
Ralph becomes Ray Brentner, starring I think chick from Grey's Anatomy, Sandra Oh. I think it's
No, it's not Sandra. Well, unless you're talking about the ninth one.
no, the new one. I mean,
No, I've never seen. I started watching the new one, and it's not someone I recognize. Oh, also,
oh, it's not. I thought it was someone famous. Okay, maybe I'm just being
I'm.
stupid.
If she is, I just don't know her.
Well, anyway,
No, I'm
that's
pretty sure
Ralph.
Allie's right because I can picture Ray in the show, and she doesn't. It's not Sandra Oh.
It's
No,
not okay.
bro.
I guess I gotta watch it again.
Mm,
Although I did, Trash Can Man showed up in the new one. I kind of like him more than I remember. I just don't think I get enough of him. So he meets Flag, I guess is our first introduction to him. And he's all like mumbling my life for you, like in a squeaky voice the whole time. He actually think is doing a pretty good job, I have to say. I remembered it much differently than when I rewatched it.
Well,
He is
good.
he's a good creepy trash. I'm not sure yet how I feel about it, but the introduction was pretty good.
I,
Maybe I just hated the stand because it was different. I didn't like because it's not chronological. It starts like at the end almost,
yeah, it flips around a lot.
I don't
and
know
that's
why they would do that because if you have not read it, you're not going to know what's going on.
that was
Yeah,
my problem because I watched it with wifey and she was like, what? Cause yeah, cause if you haven't read it, you have no idea. You're like, what the fuck is this? This means nothing to me right now. I'm like, oh, they're cleaning up the bodies from the plague that you don't know that happened yet. So, but, yeah, I like Ezra's,
especially
better. Yeah,
especially for them actually including the part where Campion runs. I don't understand why they didn't make that first. But it was honestly, I liked that they. I did not get the sense in the book that Flag was the one that started everything, and I like that they kind of put that in.
Yeah.
yeah, they added that. Yeah, like he kicked his boot kept the gate open or something like that, wasn't it?
Kept the door open. Yeah,
Yeah, I like that. I also like the way the '90s one starts though, with the Blue Oyster Cult and everybody dead in their bowls of soup and all that. You did watch the '90s one or you didn't?
I have not yet. I started with the
Oh,
new one.
okay, never mind. Well then, I can't compare because you have to see both.
Yeah, which I don't know that I like their portrayal of Nick.
No,
I didn't like New Nick at all, and I don't know if it's a Rob Lowe thing, but I just don't think I like New Nick.
this doesn't feel like Nick.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's what I think I was telling Amber. Like I never connected with this guy the way I did with the other Nick, the real
He's very
Nick.
the whole when I'm reading it, I picture him much very similar probably to Nicholas Holt, if you know who that is. And probably just because they have the same first name.
I know the name.
He was in Warm Bodies. Oh, he was in X-Men First Class. He's
Even better with warm bodies. Yeah, I think I know. He's the other guy, right?
the
Like
the other, what do you mean the other guy?
like not the lead guy, but like the one that he zombie talks to the whole time.
No, he's the main guy. He's the
Oh, okay.
main zombie, if that's what
The
you mean.
the red hoodie
So
guy.
yeah.
Okay. Why are we talking about him? I forgot.
So I picture Nick as him.
Got it. Yeah, like I mean, I'm Rob Lowe. Can't help it. Even when I read it, I don't. I guess that's bad. But I tried to give New Nick his honest chance, but I don't. It, I just didn't. And like even in the stand, not just the show, Nick kind of goes away and then he comes back and dies. Like we don't hear from him for a long time.
the parts
And
that you
that's
do get Nick though, he's great.
why I love him. Because he's better at the journey. So once they get there, he's got nothing else to do. But yeah, like him and Tom, that whole dynamic was like, oh come on, really? Like a deaf mute and a guy and a mentally handicapped guy. I'm not sure what the right word is. But, like, could you make it any more difficult? Oh,
Yeah, it
and to
was.
boot, he gets beat up and loses one of his eyes. Like, why don't we just call him Jake and move on?
I was literally about to say that as a real Jake of a character here.
So those are like you were talking about the handicapped people in Stephen King stories, man. Some of them really fucking the hits just keep coming. Maybe that's why they have special powers because they go through so they don't just go through normal like disabled stuff. They go through some extra shit. Like you're disabled and you have the fucking man in black chasing you. Although I mean Jake wasn't disabled, I don't think. Yeah, there's a picture of Trash Can Man. I love that. Very bubbly. Yeah, he's like my life for you. But he still had his whole thing. Yeah, he was blowing up shit because he was having flashbacks and he thought he was back in, you know, Indiana or something. And it's like he started to, like maybe his brain started melting from the radiation.
That just reminds me of a wild animal. Like if you're trying to tame it or get it to like you, it will still lash out sometimes because it is a wild animal. Not that Trash Can is, but he he doesn't know to trust anybody.
It kind of is like there's two things. What the two parables, whatever. Like she Cleopatra, the snake bit her, even though it was her pet. She's like, "What the hell?" And the snake's like, "Well, you knew I was a snake. What the fuck do you expect?"
Yeah. Oh yeah, the other one is the one about the boat, right?
Yeah,
It's like the fox and the chicken and
I don't know
something
how
of
it goes.
yeah, I don't remember either. But he's like, well, what'd you expect?
Yeah, yeah, I'm a fox. Yeah, yeah. Like you can say that the snake is tame, but it's snake to fight. So I don't blame the snake. I blame the idiot that thought it could make it different. Like I don't blame Flag. Well, I do blame Flag. Does he work for the king? Well, I guess he
Flag
does if he's Walter.
in that scenario, Flag is the idiot who thought he could change, isn't
Yeah,
he?
yeah. He's the one that. Well, wait, who's the snake?
It's Trash Can Man.
Oh, right. Oh, right. All right. We got sidetracked. Yeah. So I don't blame Trash Can Man because we knew what he was from the literally second we met him. Flag's the idiot that was like, I can change him.
Well, more like I can
Wanted
use
to
him.
change. Yeah,
I
I
can,
wanted to change.
well, yeah, I can control him maybe is what his mistake was. Hey, go blow up everything you want except for us. You can draw a line there, right? You know where that is. He
Do
was like, my life for
uh
you.
do arsonists have control like that?
I don't
I
think
guess
that's
it's
a
not
thing.
arson, it's pyromaniac, actually. I mean, it's both, but technically the compulsion is pyromaniac, not arson is a
Yeah.
crime.
Arson is the side effect.
Right.
Pyromania is the disorder.
You
Arson is
could
what
technically,
pyromaniacs do.
well, you could, if you were burning your own stuff, you could be a pyromaniac and not be an arsonist.
Well, you'd still be an arsonist if you're setting
It
fire
has
to
to,
your own stuff,
arson
but
is it's a crime. It's only when it's a crime, like if it's illegal.
I don't know. I just feel like
Although, to be fair, you can't, yeah, you can't set everything on fire. There are limits, but
Ebola. Yeah, I mean, you can't just go blow up your yard and say it's mine,
Yeah, like if you blow up your house, that's still gonna be a crime even if you own it. Especially
especially if you're
because
well,
trying to get
yeah,
insurance, right?
that's. I was not thinking about the house. I was thinking like a chair.
See, you gotta think big. You're thinking too small. Yeah, Stu's like, look at that, Kozak. Larry, Glenn, they're gone. God, everything's gone. Like, I know they were
Gone.
like the bad guys, but like we already did this once for the whole world, and now half of the people that are left are gone again. Wow, there's like 8 people left. Although I
It
guess there's
seems.
what 4,000 in Boulder or however many it was.
Yeah, it's a little like it's a little un Stephen King like un horror like even where it's like oh so like the good quote unquote the good side just wins and everybody else dies like is that
Yeah,
fair?
yeah, and everybody does what they want now. Like they're just like milling around, like well, there's nobody to fight.
And
What
like
do I do with this jet fighter with all the bombs on it?
it just seems very black and white to be like well all of the bad people and the three good people that we sacrificed were in the West so let's kill them and now the good people win yay. I was like excuse me since when?
He should have ended it with like one of the vials and the lab spilling over where they keep all the diseases. The shit like all the somehow breaking or something.
I mean, sure, but like, honestly, I don't like. For some reason, I have no faith in this community or humanity. So it's like
Yeah, I
it's
mean,
not
how
gonna take
long?
long anyway.
Yeah, all the good guys, quote unquote, good guys won, but how long till some of them start to go bad and we're starting to get our rapists and our child molesters again and we're putting
Well,
people in jails
that is
and
my point. Is it's not that black and white to say good versus bad, and now the bad ones are dead.
yeah, and yeah, I mean, to a point, good and bad are kind of subjective. So who's making this decision on who's good and who's bad?
Yes, God is.
Well, that's very judgy. I gotta tell you. He's like, do what I say or you can't come see me. Like, well, fuck you, dude.
Except for unless you're Larry and Ralph and Glenn, and then it's like we did come see you.
Yeah, fat lad Doritos. Mother Abigail wouldn't send us over there to die. She just wouldn't do that.
Oh my God. Remember if I said this in the last podcast or not, but my feelings on Mother Abigail just supremely changed between the first and second readings.
So she
Where
was awesome in the first one.
Well, the first time that I read it, it's like because you don't know what's gonna happen. Like she very much seems like the hero of the story. So it's like, yay, they have a chance and they're gonna win or whatever. And it's like then she disappears, and I'm like, no, she can't disappear. We need her. What's going on? Bring her back. How are we gonna win? And then the second time, I was like, fuck her. Just can she go away now, please? Like, I don't care. She wasted all their time by bringing them to Nebraska first anyway.
That's kind of my take with her. Like, okay, you brought everybody to Nebraska and said, just kidding, now let's go to Colorado. At a minimum, you could have said, all right, just, you could have zap dreamed them to Colorado instead of Nebraska.
I mean, yeah, obviously, I was gonna say that's a joke, but honestly, why did they do that?
No idea. Like, what was the plot device that they went to Nebraska and then Colorado?
I mean, I don't know if he forgot that he did that, but there's supposed to be some connection because Randall Flagg was also in Nebraska at some point.
Did he like wake up like boots on the ground walking through Nebraska? We all know how he feels about Nebraska personally.
What?
So, Children of the Corn and all that.
Oh, right, right, right.
Gatlin, Nebraska. Uh,
Is he wrong?
I've never been. There's a lot
Yeah,
of
me
corn the way I
neither.
hear it. I don't have a lot of incentive, I don't think. No offense, Nebraska. I don't know anything about it. It's flat and corny, the way I hear it. Uh, but so it makes sense that the bad guy was just, came out of the mist somewhere on a long road stretching through the corn in Nebraska. Man, maybe he came from fucking He Who Walks Behind the Rose. Maybe it's the same
uh,
person.
that feels much more demonic than like. I guess you could say all of them are demons, but like I don't know.
Well,
Doesn't feel
yeah,
like
that got a little campy in that last movie, but I liked it. I liked the badass chick.
So I wrote this down. Flagg doesn't remember much of his life before the early 60s, except for that he came from Nebraska and attended high school with Charles Starkweather.
Right? Who killed a bunch of people in Texas, not
Mhm.
Nebraska. So that doesn't make. I
It's
think it
like, what
was
do you
Texas.
mean what do you mean he came from Nebraska? Like, you told us you don't remember every time you wake up in a new place. So, like, the last time you came from Nebraska? Or, like, you were born in Nebraska?
So every okay, so many problems with that. Every time what he tries to end the world and he
Yeah, that's a
wakes
good
up in a
point,
new
yeah.
place with no memory. Walter does this again. So Walter doesn't know who he is all the time.
Yeah. No, he does. They're not the same.
Oh, there was one part where Flag tittered. I was like, "Oh, come on, you retrofitted that. We both know it." Flag does not titter. Yeah, like it's. I don't know how many times to say it. Love this character. He is not the Man in Black. I don't want him to be, and he shouldn't be. And I don't understand why he tried to make. What purpose does that serve for the town? None that I can see. So yes, and have we mentioned in this podcast how fucking long and annoying Stu and Tom's road home is, and the goddamn book already?
Yeah, it doesn't need
The
all these
book the book is
other
over,
endings.
and what? Sorry.
It doesn't need all these other endings after the hand of God.
Like as bad as his ending is, and as long as he drug it out, I don't know what's a better ending. I don't know that I have an answer for that either. Not the fucking hand of God. How about Larry, not Glenn, Ralph sneaking the fuck out of there before the bomb goes off? Well, no, then all the good guys live anyway. We already have that ending. I need the bomb to not kill Lloyd and possibly Trash Can Man.
Why? Why not Lloyd?
So, well, we need someone to start the like new band of villains. Lloyd's got some training now.
In what? In your next book?
Yeah. So it's not such a happy ending, I'm saying. Like, so it's more of a Stephen King ending,
Yeah, well,
He kind of did that with rebirthing Flag on the Beach.
I guess. At least it wasn't Nebraska. Like, as much as I hate the whole nuclear bomb, I'm not sure how I would have ended it. But I'm not the one that started this shit. There's probably months or, you know, thousands of hours of people talking about better endings. So finally they get there and some of the babies die and some live and they go to Maine. The end. It's kind of funny how, like, when Stu gets back, he's almost like not wanted there anymore. Like they moved on already. Like, oh wait, you're part of the like dead people. You're not supposed to be here.
I
Like
don't think I
we have a new
that
committee now. We've moved on from you guys.
didn't really get that impression. I got the impression that Stu was more relieved to not have to do this stuff anymore.
Yeah.
Well, there was that. It was both. I like how they're just like, let's walk to me.
Well, I mean,
Okay.
honestly, what else do you have to do?
Well,
It's still like, why do you want to walk with him?
What
you
else do
wouldn't.
you have to do?
Well, not walk. Nobody likes walking that goddamn way. Except for people that get hit by cars. Wait a minute. There was something in the Stephen King Book Club podcast. The Crate. You know the Crate? Everybody? Anybody? Nobody?
Creep? Is it a creep show one?
Yeah, the one in Creepshow.
Yeah.
It says on the side, and I did not realize this because I haven't watched it in a while. Arctic Expedition, June 19th, 1834 on the side. The Crate. And we're talking 1982, so this is before anything.
That's funny.
That's one hell of a coincidence.
It, yeah.
There's no such thing, but what else is it?
Yeah.
Like he foreshadowed his own. Well, he did say it kept coming up, and that's how it became a thing. And then he got hit by a car that day.
But I also think it's that thing of like the red car effect, where it's like, of course you're gonna notice it everywhere because it's such an important date now.
Yeah, but these are stories that he wrote up and
I
made up.
understand.
He put the date there.
I
It's not.
heard what you said. I
It's
got
it's
it.
not. It's not random. I don't know. I don't know. I thought it was interesting. So
Maybe he paid that guy to hit him on the 19th.
see now you're thinking. Hey, what was his name? Brian Smith. Hey, Mr. Generic name. Uh, could be. Roland would say he did.
Roland would
I
say,
would wonder,
"Pop."
like, if when he was like laying on the side of the road, if he actually saw those people like standing over him.
Allie, what did you say?
I said Roland would say it's.
That's very true.
You could take your fucking car and stick it up your ass. That's my Eddie impression, wasn't it? I'm just trying to get through Stu and Tom. It's just not ending.
What else is there to say? We don't
Yeah,
say
nothing
anything.
really. Yeah, I didn't do the 45-minute thing because I think this is just going to be one episode. So,
Okay.
um,
Well, I don't think we have much more to say.
I really don't think we're about to wrap it up, honestly. Um, love the book, hate the end. And that part of it, the book's so damn long, so you live with these people for fuck. When did we start this? And the way we do it, we live with them for months and months at a time.
Yeah.
And then it's just like you turn the page and oh, wait a minute, there's nobody there anymore.
Yeah, at least not the ones you want.
Right. Fucking Franny should have went to goddamn Vegas. And I always feel that way at the end of a book, though. I mean, it doesn't, except for me for a Patterson book, because I never really have time to get involved in those characters. Like when it's over, I'm so deflated. I'm like, but what happens next? But I didn't really actually feel that way this time.
Yeah.
Like I'm deflated, but I'm not like I want to turn the page and be like, oh my god, what happens next? Because like nah, I'm kind of good. Like, all right, I'm letting them live their life now. I don't need to follow them. That doesn't happen all the time. But so that is it until September
Sometime after. So.
after 20. Oh, so date yet undetermined.
Yes.
And everybody got the what is it? Part 7 book 2
Uh-huh.
was about half. I'm so excited. Love Tommy Knockers. Love the Bills. This is one of the greatest small town Maine books because, yeah. I mean, you guys know it. Has everybody read this before or no?
I
Yes.
have, yeah.
Okay, so we all know this is a first.
Well,
We all kind of know what's going to happen. Very excited. Here comes Guard and Bobby and Haven. There's actually a Netflix show called Haven for some reason. Because it has nothing to do with the Tommy Knockers. You don't know how excited I was when I heard that. There's a show called Haven. Oh my god, I got to see that. And it has nothing at all to do with Tommy. but
Oh
it's not bad. It's one of them like sci-fi Eureka type shows, if you know what's out of it.
no.
It's like kind of campy, kind of quirky, but a good time if you don't take it too seriously.
Sure.
I like Eureka. Eureka's like a special town that nobody ever heard of, where all the smartest people in the world live, and they're all doing experiments and causing weird anomalies in the space-time continuums that they had. The poor normal sheriff who's not smart has to try to fix all the time. And the sheriff is the Maytag guy from the commercials.
Oh god.
What's the name?
Oh,
Oh, don't
Would
know.
you,
I don't know
what'd
who
you
we're
say?
talking about.
I just said, oh god.
Yeah, so yeah, like the Maytag guy. So anyway, watch Eureka if you want. Watch Haven. You have to watch The Stand. We might have to watch the last couple episodes of that. I kind of remember how they do trash at the end, so I want to see that.
Okay.
Like for you, he kind of squeaks it. Like for you.
Yeah, I haven't
Um,
gotten to the episodes with trash yet. I think I know
5 or 6, I think I
to.
just started on. Now I'm gonna watch it again. I'm glad The Stand's over. It's almost a relief. No more giant tomes, at least yet. Although Tommyknockers was much bigger than I remembered it being. I thought it was like a 400 or 500 pager.
Well, that's a
It's
short story for him.
Yeah, right. Well, it's true. And this is one of the books supposedly, and I'll look it up. He says he doesn't remember writing. He was all drunk and on coke the whole time.
I
Well, that must be
believe
nice. You
that.
got such talent that yeah, there are parts of it you're like, whoa. It's like,
Yeah.
what the fuck? The
Imagine like
batteries and the,
he gives it to Tabby and she's like, hon, did you read this?
yeah. She didn't even say nothing. She was just smiling and picking up the phone going, we need an intervention now. And they did that to him, I think, as that rumor has it. Or he says they did that. She was
She
like,
was like, get it together or we're done. I'm
yeah.
leaving. Yeah.
Me and the kids or drugs and alcohol? You pick.
Right.
And he's never really been able to live without her, so it was an easy decision if he wanted to live. Okay. That's all I got. Everybody good?
Yep.
I guess Allie, let us know when you get back and we'll take it from there.
Will do.
Have fun.
We will.
End of the podcast. Everybody say bye.
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 Bye.